What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So following on from yesterday's video with Ewan, we're going to carry on with my Q&A session, and in episode 2 of this mini-series we have Trading with CJ. So if you haven't seen that episode with Ewan, basically what I do is ask fellow YouTubers and investors 10 questions all about trading on YouTube, with the hope of helping anyone that watches this video in terms of some tips and tricks to help you improve both your investing and your YouTube channel. So again, I just want to say thanks very much to Trading with CJ for taking the time to create his part of the video. His channel is doing great at the moment. Only a few weeks back he was on about 1,000 subscribers and he's now on over 4,000. So I'll put a link to his channel in the description below. Be sure to check his channel out after this video. So the first question is, just give a brief overview of what your channel is all about.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Brian. So I am CJ. I'm an investor from the UK, just outside of London. And I have my own channel as well, Trading with CJ, where we also talk about all things stock market investing and a little bit of personal finance.
Question 2 is another one I always find interesting, and that's how and why did you start investing?
I've been investing for a few years. However, I guess like most people, it was the March crash. And that I started putting a lot more time and money into the stock market. Since then, I've been researching lots of different stocks and I haven't looked back, to be honest. We're sitting on an incredible gains at the moment and hopefully that's going to keep growing and growing over the years. Why did I start investing? Well, if we look at a savings account, I've had all my money just sitting in a savings account earning about 0.1% if you're lucky interest, or 0.5%. Really rubbish, basically, for the last however many years. And even putting it into an ETF or a dividend stock, you're getting far more better results and returns on that investment, not to mention growth, etc. stocks as well. So yeah, that's why I started investing, and I'll definitely recommend it. If you haven't considered it before, start off on a safer play, or you can go for speculative ones, but definitely investing, you're going to get much better returns overall, most of the time, not financial advice, than you will by leaving it in a savings account.
So the third question is, if you could only pick one stock for the rest of your life, what would it be? Now yesterday Ewan picked Apple, so it's going to be interesting to see what you believe is the best stock.
It's a bit of a tough one because I love my speculative stocks, love growth stocks, etc. But I would have to choose Facebook. Facebook because it is a stable, solid company, in my opinion. The valuation is really good as well compared to a lot of the other tech growth stocks out there. Strong fundamentals, strong financials. And yeah, in my opinion, right now it's at very good prices. I will be buying Facebook and holding that one for years and years to come.
Yes, certainly Apple and Facebook are definitely some of my favorite companies as well. The next question is, if you could give investors one piece of advice for people that are beginning to start investing, what would it be?
Well, I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier on about the ETFs, better than a savings account, etc. You can definitely go down that route. Companies like the S&P 500 that track the top 500 companies in America, okay? Generally, over time, that has gone up and up and up year after year. It's a solid investment in my opinion. But even more solid than that, if you want to pick an individual stock, go for something that you know and something that you love and something that you use. So for example, Facebook, like we mentioned, if you know Facebook and you're always on Facebook, you're always using it, you already know half of your research. You already know exactly what that company does. Now you just need to look into their financials, how they're growing, etc. and see if it's a good investment. There's no point picking a stock you have no idea about just because somebody suggested something. Pick something that you already know and you're halfway there. Okay, but obviously do your research into these companies because you might love cinemas, but you might find a cinema is not a good investment, etc. So yeah, pick a company that you love. Tech sector is always growing. That's a great sector to get started in. Companies like Apple, Facebook, the big FANG stocks, the big popular growth stocks, they are great places to start off. And of course, as your knowledge grows and you start to feel more comfortable in the stock market, you can start to move into some more speculative stocks as well.
Yeah, that's definitely a brilliant piece of advice in terms of the S&P 500 or going involved in any ETFs at the start, as it really does give you a broad overlook of the overall market. I think that's how I started off as well. However, I think I kind of bought a lot of individual stocks as well. I think at one stage, I was saying to you yesterday that I had over 60 individual stocks, which is crazy considering that I also had the S&P 500 and the FTSE 100 on top of that. So I had about 700 to 800 stocks overall at one stage. But certainly diversification is great at the start, in my own opinion as well, as you're better off to kind of have an overall feel of the market. So that kind of leads us on to the next question. And as I said at the start of this video, your channel has been doing really well lately. It's up to over 4,000 subscribers. So if you could give one piece of advice to anybody that wants to start off YouTube, what would it be?
Now, I'm still relatively new in the grand scheme of things. I only started about 9 months ago or so, something like that. And it's been growing quite nicely. A few different ways I went about this, okay? Speak about something you love to talk about. If you don't love a company or you don't like talking about a specific thing, don't do it because it won't come across in the video, you won't enjoy doing it, and people will gauge that as well. The second main thing for YouTubers itself would be to engage with other YouTubers. You probably noticed this, I love to watch other YouTubers. Brian, for example, I watch all of his videos as well. I love to comment and engage with other YouTubers. Generally, you'll find that you get that back in return as well, and it really helps to grow a big community. And, people will generally support each other in this community. That's one great thing I would say about the investing community. And be consistent as well. My aim originally was to post one video a week. And I didn't know if I'd keep it completely up, to be honest, but I did one video a week, and now it's turned into, as of late, I've been able to post a lot more regularly. But just be consistent, okay? Don't post one month, one another 2 months later. Try to be consistent, and you'll gradually build a nice following as well. That's my advice for a new YouTuber. Like I say, I'm still relatively new as well, and still growing myself. So we've got to keep at it, stick at it, and good things will come.
I think I already know the answer to this one, but do you prefer dividend or growth stocks?
So this is one that I think you probably already can gauge the answer from what I've been saying. For me, hands down, growth stocks. I mean, I absolutely love growth stocks. Dividend, I do like dividend stocks. Okay, I have a few in my portfolio. I have Realty Income, McDonald's. McDonald's is the best of both worlds because it's a bit of growth and it pays a nice dividend. And I guess the best example of a best of both worlds here is Apple. Okay, amazing growth. You can see that in their numbers, their financials they've been producing, but they also pay a nice dividend as well. So I guess the best of both worlds is really good here. If you're just starting out, dividends might be a cool way to go about it, but it really depends on how much you're putting in. If you're only putting in £100 into the market, I don't personally see the point of investing into a dividend stock. You're not going to get much out of that. The growth on dividend stocks, take Realty Income for example, it tends to be a bit more up and down, a bit more flatline. Whereas growth stocks, you can get a lot more return for your money. So if you're not putting in a lot of money here, then I definitely would recommend going for a growth stock personally. However, it's good to have a bit of diversity within the portfolio for sure.
A question that I always find very useful is what apps, tools, or websites do you use when researching stocks to invest in?
The first one is going to be their website itself, the company's website. You can get a lot of information, learn about the company, read investor presentations, etc. The second one here is going to be simply Wall Street. This is more like an analyst. The analyst gives you a general overview of the companies. It gives you valuation on the stocks, future growth potential, their finances, their debt, their equity, etc. This gives you a lot of information, okay? Simply Wall Street. And the third one here will be Discord. Okay, and I'm going to do a little plug here. I have a Discord as well, but lots of people have Discords. It is basically where lots of investors can go on this and talk about stocks. Okay, you get a lot of information from these stocks. People are researching all day long. Definitely join some sort of Discord if you haven't already, because you can get a lot of information from investors. I'm always learning on there as well. People will put out a ticker symbol to me. They'll tell me a bit about a stock. I'll go and research into it, and you know what? I find it's an amazing company, and that becomes a next gem. Discord or some sort of social media platform. Of course, there are many others. Yahoo Finance for the financials, Investor Place for news around the company, etc. But yeah, there's 5 there, but my top 3 are the first 3 I mentioned.
So we can see from the majority of your videos that you use trading 2 and 2, just like myself. I'd like to see what you would think of one pro and one con is of using this broker.
Trading 212, we love Trading 212. It is my favourite brokerage app in the UK. And I think for the main reason here, it is free. It's free and it has a lot of stocks. Most stocks that you want are on Trading 212. The con that I would say, and I've noticed it a bit more as of late, is it does crash every now and again. You're not going to lose your money, but what it means is if there is some major news going on in the stock market, everybody's buying, you probably won't be able to log on. So that's one thing, okay? They need to definitely improve their server and be able to cope with those higher volumes. I will say I haven't experienced it that much, but in the last few weeks with all of this news going on, I've tend to find that I've gone to check my stocks and you just can't log on. So there is that to consider, but yeah, overall, hands down, Trading 212 for the win.
The second last question is, who is your favorite YouTuber or investor?
I'm going to go down the YouTube line with this because, of course, you can then check out their channels, etc. Brian, of course, is up there, fellow UK investor. If we're going a bit more, mainstream here, we're going to go Jeremy from Financial Education. I've been watching that guy for years now. He was the original GOAT when it comes to YouTube investing. Jeremy from Financial Education, definitely go check out his channel. He really does know his stuff. He's a multi-millionaire and he has made incredible gains on his stocks. And he documents all of it. There's a public portfolio so you can see exactly how that's been growing over the years. Jeremy from Financial Education is probably my favorite overall.
And the 10th and final question, although it does sound like an interview question, is where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
It's a tough one, this question I really don't know how to generally answer it. I'm going to go for like investing related terms, okay? For me, keep investing. Of course, I would love to see a few more nooks on my portfolio. That's that. And I guess the main thing for me as well is passive income. I want to really build up my passive income streams and be comfortable to not have to work. I love my full-time job. I probably won't quit it. However, having the option to not have to work due to passive income just coming in, that would be absolutely amazing. 5 years, I think that's an incredible goal to get to, So passive income to equate to my current salary, basically, and to add a few more nooks to my portfolio. That's the goal right there. So yeah, I want to say a massive thank you to Brian for having me on his channel as well. Thank you to everyone who's watched. Like I said, I've got my own channel, Trading with CJ. You can check that out. But yeah, good luck investing and thanks for having me.
So that kind of brings the end to the second video of this mini Q&A series. If you found this video anyway helpful, interesting or entertaining, it'd be brilliant if you can consider subscribing to both myself and to Trading with CJ. Also, if you have any questions, comments or queries for either CJ or I, please comment below and we'll be sure to get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks very much again to CJ for taking the time to make this video, and thank you very much for watching.